If you've ever stared at a market profile chart and thought this looks like a drunk printer fell down the stairs, congratulations, you're normal. But hidden inside those wonky letters is a map of exactly where the big money is trading. And the big money, believe it or not, doesn't care about your moving average cross. I'm going to show you how to read the map in 3 simple steps. This isn't theory. I trade cable almost every day using this on a clean market profile tool custom built for MT4. So if you want to stop guessing and start seeing what the institutions are actually doing, stay with me. Step 1. Stop staring at 5-minute charts like they owe you money. Start looking at the market from the weekly profile. This is your aerial view, your satellite image, your big boy lens. To set it up, you get your preferred TPO chart. I use a tool that's cleaner than a Scandinavian furniture showroom, custom built for MT4. If you trade cable like I do, set the row size to 5, the initial balance to 5, and the rotation to 4 hours. That little combo is a beautiful noise filter. It sweeps away the rubbish and leaves you staring at the structural truth. Once that's up, you map out the areas of high liquidity. And by high liquidity, I mean the actual shape of the profile. A bulge, a fat bit. That's not random. That's proof the largest traders were active there. They leave footprints and their feet are enormous.
I always call it massive. Sometimes they say huge. Not a bad one. Huge.
Now, example. Look at the week of the 29th March 2026 on the screen right now. The shape of that weekly profile is like a lowercase b. Price closed lower on the week, but look where most of the large buying was concentrated. Right at the bottom, at the very end. The profile bulges at the base. That tells you serious liquidity was resting there and somebody was absorbing it. The TPO count also says sellers were active. They were busy little bays. But what did their efforts produce? Nothing much. Like trying to push a double-decker bus with a rolling pin. If the sellers were so strong, why didn't price slice through the bulge like a hot knife through butter? Because the big buyers were waiting there with open arms and very deep pockets. So if I'm correct, the following week should be an up week. Confirmation becomes clearer when we start seeing more 4-hour rotation closes above that bulge. If we don't get them, the thesis weakens faster than a supermarket carrier bag in the rain. But if we do, we've got a roadmap. Step 2. With the weekly profile in your head, you now check 3 things on the prior week in this exact order because I'm pedantic and it works. Check where the value area is, check for gaps, and check the length of the initial balance, the IB. Now, I didn't just make these up after 3 pints. These relationships have been studied to death. Gaps fill roughly 90% of the time. Value area trades happen about 70% of the time. Initial balances extend at least half of themselves 95% of the time. And here's a favorite statistic. Wide initial balances fail 80% of the time. Those numbers are all public. They exist because market behavior is repetitive and people with more spare time than we have crunch the data. Let's make it real. Week of the 22nd March. Pull it up. The market opens inside the prior week's value area, like a guest who knows exactly where the biscuits are kept. Notice what price does. It trades from the value area low up to the value area high and then right back through again. Classic. It tours the entire value area like it's on a sightseeing bus and then it gets dizzy and falls over. You can also see the balance was wide that week, and wide balances fail 80% of the time. Sure enough, price fell back through value. If you were chasing that breakout, you got the kind of financial education that stings. Now roll back to the 15th March week. There's a gap between the week's open and the value area from the prior week. Price moved too fast, left a hole. These gaps fill 90% of the time, either the same week or in extreme cases within 4 to 6 weeks. The balance broke, and what we know is price will move at least half of that balance. So the gap didn't just whisper, it shouted a measured move target. If you treat these stats like probabilities rather than certainties, you stop fighting the structure and start surfing it, much less bruising. Step 3. This is where you take everything you learned from the weekly TPO chart and you overlay it into your 1 hour market profile chart. I've done a separate video on hourly profiles. Go and watch it. It's basically the child of this one, but with more caffeine. Let's take this week as a live walkthrough. Right now, it's Thursday, 21st May 2026. The screen does not lie. We had a gap between the open and value this week. The week was already bullish, and now we've broken the balance to the upside. That confirms the buy side is preparing to extend at least half of the broken balance. That gives us a target area. With a bit of luck and no sudden global disasters, the market should trade above the 135 handle. So my intraday bias for the whole week has been long, not mildly long, not let's see what happens long, committed long with a reason. So today is Thursday, the final push day. Let's step inside the hour by hour. 7 AM London pre-market. Sellers move. On the profile, you see a day-shaped distribution forming. It looks like a capital D had a lie down. Sellers try to give it a go, bless them. It felt a bit like watching someone try to push a boulder up a hill with a teaspoon. 8 AM London cash market opens. Buyers step in. Immediately, the highest volume of the day so far prints. This is institutional buying, not retail punting from a bedroom in Swindon. The tone changes instantly. 9 AM post open. The sellers from the 7 AM get liquidated. The day period spike up on the 1 hour profile confirms it. It's essentially the market saying, thank you for your participation. You may now leave via the fire exit.
Go ahead, Danny.
Thank you for your service.
Sellers who were brave at 7 are now staring at their screens wondering if RD's hiring. This early positioning was likely ahead of a news event, and here's the beautiful part. Retail money positioned themselves against possible negative sentiment. Classic. That's like ordering a salad at a steakhouse. You're technically participating, but you're missing the whole point. If we're correct, the market should continue higher when the dust settles. London traders rarely mark the high of day, so there's still juice left. My hard stop sits under the cash open low. That's non-negotiable. But if the 9 AM profile shows even stronger institutional activity, I'll raise the hard stop to the low of that profile, tightening it like a drum, or like my budget for avocado toast. So there it is. Weekly profile shapes show you where the elephants danced. Gaps, value, and initial balance give you the high probability framework, and then your 1 hour profile overlays the weekly bias into precise intraday execution. It's the same market, just viewed through 3 increasingly sharp lenses. If this made sense, give it a thumbs up. If it didn't, give it a thumbs up anyway. The algorithm won't know the difference. Go and watch the hourly profiles video because that completes the set. Subscribe if you want more no-nonsense market profile content delivered with that particular flavour of London sarcasm you didn't know you needed. I'll see you in the next one. May your pips be plentiful and drawdowns microscopic. Till my next video, adios.